Hey folks, BrickSidious here, back with another Star Wars review video. So I'm going to talk about the recent news. You might have heard that Disney is adding some original trilogy characters and potentially activities to Star Wars Galaxy Edge, the part of the theme parks that's Star Wars themed. Yeah, I believe there's two sites now, Orlando Disney World and California Disneyland. I don't think they're in any of the other global parks. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you've been there. I've been to the California one at least 5 times. I have not explored it deeply. Mostly, I found impressive, the Rise of the Resistance ride. Fortunately, I was lucky that every time I went, it was not down for repairs, and the modern, the state of the art special effects and the theming, the story arc, and I think the whole thing end to end takes like 40 minutes. So it's like, I'm impressed there. I have a lot of criticism of how Disney has mistreated Star Wars over the years, but I think they did Rise of the Resistance well. Given the constraints and a kind of what would be reasonably affordable and impressive for a mass dark ride. I'm not like a theme park expert or anything. There's so many good channels on YouTube where these people are real fanatics, and they go over the minutia of rides and park design and immersion and everything. But I just want to initially talk about some of the limitations or disappointments of Galaxy's Edge, and then this pivot, which was like a no-brainer to show original trilogy content. So one, I believe Disney Imagineers or Lucasfilm, some folks probably had quite good concepts for a Star Wars land, maybe even before Disney bought Lucasfilm IP. There was probably talk or concepts of like building on the Star Tours success that were in the works. And in Tomorrowland, for you people who like Disney properties, Tomorrowland, the future area of some of these parks, they did have like stormtroopers, Darth Vader, and stuff doing some live performance, whatnot. Yeah, maybe there were some temporary like Star Wars themed activities and exhibits for the kids, like you could like hold a lightsaber, take some photos, swing it around and stuff, or meet droids, meet Chewbacca. And I mean, like, I remember when I was a kid in the 90s, like, going to Star Tours, and it was the most awesome thing ever. Like, you're riding the movie, right? I mean, that was everyone's dream, to go in the Death Star trench run, or, like, go through the Endor forest or something. And, they had, at the time, like, pretty innovative, that like, kind of, like, moving room that would simulate the motion of the space vehicle. It was a hit with everybody. And then, over time, I guess as the prequels came out, like, they gave riders an option of like different adventures they could go on in Star Tours, so it's not just the same old original trilogy Death Star attack. I believe you kind of could have gone in like the Tatooine pod race, or the big Coruscant battle in Episode 3, etc. And I think those are pretty well received too. But of course, they changed Star Tours to be sequel themed. Like, I haven't gone to it in a couple years, and so I don't remember it. And actually, as I'm getting older, the motion sickness and stuff is like catching up with me, and like I don't enjoy the dark rides, and sometimes it just makes me like dizzy and ill afterwards. So when I ride with my kids, I just like close my eyes and listen to the sounds, and then I feel fine, and the kids enjoy it. Oh yeah, it's 3D also, so that kind of marginal effects, but like things flying at you or whatever. And of course, there's a lot of theming as you're waiting. You're going through the winding lines to get into the ride vehicle. There's a bunch of Star Wars stuff all over that people like. So, it seems really idiotic that they would just want to be exclusively sequel themed for Black Spire Outpost, Galaxy's Edge. One like even if those films were great and tremendously successful, you can't just turn your back on the original properties that everybody loves. It's not like changing Splash Mountain from the what is it, Brer Rabbit, Song of the South, that has some kind of historical baggage there, and they turned Splash Mountain to like Tiana themed, Princess and the Frog theme. Like, there, you could kind of understand that okay, the original IP, we have some concerns, and we're going to do something maybe more modern, safer, blah blah blah. But there was no problem with the original trilogy, right? Everybody loves it. Everybody wants to be Han or Luke or Princess Leia or Vader and stuff. And seeing those folks walking around, like, even kids, it's inescapable. Like 6-year-olds probably know who Darth Vader is with the black outfit and stuff, right? So, just having the Mos Eisley Cantina, next to, well, they made up this planet Batu, right? That's not in the movies at all. So really, there's no point in taking great care to like make it immersive and authentic or whatnot. so say even they want to have a sequel location in Galaxy's Edge, right? I don't know what might be interesting there. Like Maz, I forget her full name, the one with the big eyes, in episode 7, like that planet where Finn and Rey go to meet her. That could be a spot. I mean, like Finn and Rey, as they were escaping their desert planet, I don't even remember the name of it now. I don't think that's too interesting for a theme park. Yeah, like maybe the bridge or some sort, like some sort of command area for the Resistance, or that Starkiller base. They could have done something like that. But Black Spire Outpost, Batu, whatever they want to call it, it's so similar to Tatooine. Just make it Tatooine. I mean, it's crazy. Like now, I mean, to reskin that place to be Tatooine. I mean, they already have a cantina. And sorry for the ad here. I'm just borrowing some other people's Galaxy's Edge content on YouTube. But yeah, it would probably cost them like 10 million or more to like reskin it to Tatooine. But maybe it's worth it. I mean, and also like Disney having these issues now of like they're trying to reduce the number of paid live actors in the parks. I think because they're like part of the Actors Guild, or they have more rights or something, and now they just want animatronics or digital screens or automated things where you don't have to pay staff, which is a bummer because I think like I have daughters. They loved when they were toddlers, or like even up to like age 8, they loved meeting the characters and the princess characters, right? And interacting with them and taking photos, or all the kids, and even the Disney adults too, love meeting Minnie and Mickey. So for Disney to, and that's their competitive advantage, right? Versus all other theme parks and activities. Nobody else has those characters. Yeah, you have to pay them, and you have to give them health insurance and breaks and sick leave and stuff. But like, yeah, is that so bad? For if they really care about giving magical, satisfying memories and experiences for the guests, that's how you do it. Not just some generic roller coaster or like a dark ride with digital screens everywhere, which is what here what you see like a Smuggler's Run going to be. But anyway, so yeah. I think it's a good move that they try to get original trilogy characters walking the park, interacting with guests, doing the photo ops, very Instagrammable, very TikTokable. That should have been there from the start, right? And now, yeah, like to turn Oga's Cantina or whatever it's called into Mos Eisley Cantina. You got the band, maybe some like light violence gunfights with Greedo and Han or something. Like that, Obi-Wan busting out the lightsaber. That would be freaking awesome, right? Everybody would love that. And then now to Smuggler's Run, you have the Millennium Falcon ride there. It's the adventure you go on with like getting the coaxium or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. But I think probably a lot of actually you'll probably see like the wait times on the Disney app. Like it's pretty easy to get into that ride because I think people do it once and like okay kind of cool, but it's not like something they're addicted to. But you have something like the piloting the Millennium Falcon through episode 4 like. Escaping Mos Eisley, escaping Tatooine, escaping the Death Star, and then helping Luke in the end, like that would be boss, right? Or in later, yeah, episode 5 is running away from the Empire through the asteroids and stuff. Episode 6, the final Death Star battle with Lando. And again, just like Star Tours, you could like cycle through those ride options, or the people in the ride vehicle could vote, or even just make some like original ride for again like some sort of Smuggler's Run if they want to do that. But like now you're Han, right, and Chewie and everything. So. Yeah, who knows? Maybe a few million to redo that as well, and like but I mean the benefit of it being basically a glorified video game with a motion vehicle is that it should be pretty easy to load a new adventure every now and then. So again, like I think Disney has only confirmed that they are adding original trilogy characters to walk the land, but they haven't committed to any of these other things. This is just totally my ideas that I think would be fairly feasible. And then keep Rise of the Resistance, like that's a winner. Like I don't, and you have actors in there too, right? Playing like First Order, this and that, and Resistance folks helping the guests escape. So they're open, like they're willing to use actors and they're willing to make it successful. So, build on that. I know like probably you've seen when Galaxy's Edge first opened years ago, that YouTubers and others were discussing some of the blue sky concepts that Disney had for it. Like, of course, some of the things that ended up being paywalled behind the Galactic Star Cruiser, that LARPing, a 2-day adventure thing. But, they're like some sort of dinner show where you have to solve a mystery or a puzzle, and there's characters up in the rafters or balcony interacting with you and doing things. like that is possible to be added to the cantina as well. You have some sort of reservation system, like a book, yeah, meal bookings and stuff. You could easily charge like $80 a meal, maybe more, and it would be sold out, right? So I mean, again, the stupidity, the greed, or whatever you want to call it, that they just wanted to paywall all that stuff behind the ridiculous Galactic Star Cruiser adventure, which is what, like, it started at like 2 or 3K, and you might have seen it already, but there's this one Star Wars and other like pop culture commentator, Jenny something, on YouTube, that she made like I want to say like a 3 hour analysis of. She went on Galaxy's Edge, and she's not a hater or anything, but she gave a very honest, critical, like, as a demanding fan, and I don't think she was being unreasonable. Like, everything she said was very logical, and I think reasonable for the price point you're paying. She just like looked at every bit by bit of the Galactic Star Cruiser experience, and the good and bad of it. So one, again, yeah, it's sequel themed, and totally this fictitious ship that's not in the movies. Nobody has any emotional attachment to it. All these fictitious characters that you don't care about as well. And then maybe there's, in the end, there's a little bit of a sighting of like Kylo Ren and Rey, big deal. But I mean, I heard that their choreographed lightsaber fight looks very nice, realistic. I mean, they use like movie prop quality lightsabers and, flips and whatever, and sound effects. Like, Disney's good at that, right? So that seemed to be a crowd pleaser. But, what are you going to do for the other like 47 hours? I mean, the activities were very underwhelming, like Jedi lightsaber training. It's like a glorified Nintendo Wii video game. And then, your characters, and you try to solve puzzles, and like, you're just, it's very app based, so you're stuck on your phone. Like, you're not even getting to enjoy the immersive experience. It's like a, device based, and the rooms are really tiny and claustrophobic. I mean, there's no outside windows because you're supposed to be in space. And then you get like an excursion to Batu a little. I assume you get front of the line to do Rise of the Resistance and stuff, but of course some days it's broken. And of course, in the end it's moot because they closed down the Galactic Star Cruiser anyway. But just a total wasted opportunity there. Yeah, I like in Galaxy's Edge, they could do some sort of reservation extra paid system for like some sort of Jedi training and this, and it's not just lightsabers. It'd be great for the kids to learn like Jedi values, and have some sort of like quest, choose your own adventure or something, and interacting with a Jedi master, and like role, like some sort of scenarios and stuff, and maybe some could be like Sith or dark side, or tempted by the dark side. So that was one thing I worried too, of like with the LARPing and the Galactic Star Cruises, if you pit some of the guests against each other, of like if it becomes a competitive thing, or like light side, dark side, and these people could be crazy, right? And they're paying like a lot of money for this. They're probably very demanding, and you could see conflicts happen, and all sorts of messy stuff. So that's a bummer, where like some of this role playing could be really cool in Galaxy's Edge. Well, one, unfortunately, the customers besides kids are not allowed to dress up to enter the Disney parks, because they don't want to be mistaken for staff, cast members, and like bad people trying to like molest or kidnap kids, dressing like Mickey Mouse or something. You don't want that. So that's an understandable Disney rule. So you can't really like get immersed and in character if you're a customer at Galaxy's Edge, or maybe you could. They have their like outfits you can borrow, or and wear while you're there. I mean, plenty of other like places in Asia have that, right? Like cosplay stuff where you take pictures, or like outfits, everything. Like it's just like, it's not really an American culture, but I think it's not the hardest thing to do. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I mean, Disney's slow. I have no idea when we would expect these original trilogy editions. Like there was some more pie in the sky stuff, more like tech intensive, risky things. Like they wanted to have autonomous droids going around, or like things flying in the air, maybe even like a mechanized beast that you could pay for rides, go, or maybe hopefully it would be free, just like that you can take rides on. And you could just see those being like a disaster to maintain, and they break down, and maybe lawsuits. They like kids like try to play a prank and kick over the droid and break it, or like you fall off the bantha. So I'm not a huge proponent of that. But like a lot of people, like as you see the footage here with like the Droid Factory, a lot of people were criticizing Galaxy's Edge that it's just like a giant mall, like a cash grab of like getting stuff, right? And not, because the whole thing is, it should be the experience, right? Not the merch. And so some of these things could improve it, of like, little skits by the original trilogy folks, interacting with the guests, maybe a dinner show or some sort of interactive thing at the cantina, reskinning Smuggler's Run to be original trilogy. Yeah, I mean, those things are not huge expenses. So, if Disney has half a brain, they would definitely do it. And maybe even like, I forget if Mandalorian stuff is already in the park or not, but they could add that to, Darth Maul series, Andor, these are beloved characters that they, please let it just not be Rey and Kylo Ren 24/7. Nobody likes those characters. We're sick of them, actually. So yeah. So anyway, those are my thoughts from the latest news. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and I think I will have an actual Lego bricks video coming next as well. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you next time.